Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. My name is Brittany and I am very excited to come to you guys today with my usual Thursday content because I just am. I previously had set up a poll in my community section on my channel asking you guys if you would be interested in a flower gardening series on my channel, and I didn't get any responses, so this isn't going to be like an official start of an series, but it'll be an episode where I just kind of tell you guys a little bit about what I do, and then this way I can gauge your interest with an actual like feedback if you like the video and whatnot. So what I have done is, this is a journal that I picked up from my local Ollie's Bargain Market. They are a place that I go to pretty often to look for bookbinding supplies because I can get it there really cheap and in bulk. And I always look at the journals when I'm there because they sometimes have some really good quality stuff. And this one is one of those that I just absolutely love because of the gold gilding and the butterflies and flowers. And I thought that would be perfect for my gardening journal. So that is what this is. My husband and I started landscaping our property because as we're getting older, it's becoming more challenging to do the upkeep. We don't have a lot of land per se, but the land that we do have is like steep inclines, or it deals with, you know, some kind of dangerous slopes. And so what I've been doing is I've been getting flowers and trees, and I've been planting them on those dangerous slopes, kind of turning them into like a pollinator garden, or like a shaded Japanese garden, things like that, so that it's less that we have to try to mow with our equipment. And then this way we're not really putting ourselves at risk doing that stuff. But it's a process. So we started this about 2 or 3 years ago, and I like to start seeds. So most of what I have planted has been from seeds, and that does take longer for things to kind of take over and mature, but I love the process of starting seeds. So how I document it is, oh, and by the way, this journal is by Joanna Basford. It's called the Secret Garden Journal, and she has some very beautiful like coloring books. If you're interested, she has like a social card, greeting card set, journals, all kinds of beautiful artwork. I just love it. So what I do to document this stuff, see, I started this in 2022, is I save my seed packets, because the information on the back about how to sow them and, you know, like how deep in the soil to start them, is really helpful. And it's like a really good way to help get you started if you've never, you know, tried to germinate seeds before. But this is kind of what I do. So I document where like the product comes from. I usually add a picture of what the plant will be at its like full maturation stage, and mostly I put the date too of when I started it. And I do that not only because I want to measure the progress of how the seeds are doing, but also if it comes to a certain point and nothing has sprouted, then I know, okay, well, it's been enough time that, you know, that's not like a seed that's not going to mature. But then I decorate the journal also to just kind of liven it up a little bit. But I also try to put down like where I get the seeds, so I know, okay, this is a reliable place that has good yields, like their seeds are dependable, they come up all the time. I was really disappointed with one of the seeds that I had gotten. I spent like $50, I think, on seed packets from an online store, and like only 2 of the plants came up, and they didn't even come up the following year, and they were supposed to come up every year. So I know not to buy from them again, which is another reason why I do this. And I know that this looks like a lot, but there's still a lot of space in our yard that needs landscaping done to it. So it might seem like a lot, but we still have more to do. My most successful seeds have been from Park Seed, and this isn't sponsored or anything like that. I'm just sharing my personal experience with you. And so I have some more that I've purchased from them that I'm going to get started, and they're pretty dependable. I've had very good success with them. And the only time I didn't have success with them was last year. Instead of this black-eyed Susan vine with the white eye, I got a variety color packet, and it was completely my fault, the reason why they didn't come up, and it's because I started them too late. So like this one, I actually don't have the date that I started them, but I believe that it was in early March. And the ones that I started last year, I did it like the very end of April, early May, and it was just too late for them to get a good start. And then I also do some sketching, especially this is helpful whenever I'm trying to like plan out if I'm going to do like a rock bed, like how I want, like where I want the plants to be in relation to the rocks, things like that. So this is like our front entryway to our house, and I was just drawing that I wanted to get planters for either side of our front step, and I wanted to put forget-me-nots in them. And I did do that, but the seeds were unsuccessful. They only germinated to like the beginning seedlets, the little sprouts, and they never bloomed. So I won't be buying those ones again. And then my pen pals, I sometimes get things from them that I want to add into this. So I'll add them in. And then also I get a lot of things like this, for example, from pen pals, because all my pen pals know how much I love flowers and how much I love to garden. And so basically this is like a Victorian image that's been transferred onto some handmade paper that has little seeds in it. I don't know if you guys can see them, but if you plant these, then you'll have like wildflowers that grow up. And I don't know if I have another one of those to show you. I think I do. So this was from one of my pen pals from overseas. They had sent me this little thank you card, and this one's more easy to see than this one, all the little seeds that are in it. So I love things like that, and I've gotten quite a few of those from pen pals. My pen pals also send me seed packets, like this one here is from a pen pal. And what I am planning on doing, I actually have a section in my yard, kind of like off to the right of our driveway, that I have been cultivating and preparing for a wildflower pollinator garden, and that's where all of these are going to go. I want them all to be in the same location in my yard, so every time I look at that flower bed, I'm always reminded of my pen pals. And right now it's still like the cardboard has been there for one winter, so it should be starting to break down. We soiled it and mulched it last year, and I'm not sure if I'll be able to plant in it yet this summer, but I'm going to be checking on all of that here probably this month. But yeah, that's what I do. I track all of this stuff. I sketch where I plant it. I keep all of my tags when I plant them. This tree here is a crabapple tree that we have next to our driveway, and we bought this to plant in honor of the late Queen Elizabeth for her Platinum Jubilee. And I got a little placard custom made that had the Jubilee emblem on it, so that's why I kind of drew that in there. But we put that by this tree every summer. And then I also keep the tags off of the plants, so when they come from a nursery or from a lawn and garden center, then I keep the tags, because not only do when the plants start to mature. These can impede the like stems or trunks, the stems or trunks. But I also cut them off because sometimes on the back of these they'll have additional plant information about their care, like care instructions. So these are from two Jane Magnolia bushes that I planted at the corner of our house and on a side flower bed that I started. And the one that's on the side flower bed is actually right in the center. And then coming out from it, I have my favorite flower, peonies. And I just started irises, red, white, and blue irises, because irises and peonies go really well together. They grow well together. So I still have a lot of work to do in that flower bed. It is my newest flower bed, and this summer I'm going to work on tearing up the sod out from in between those plants and mulching it. So that one's going to look pretty nice when it's done. Oh, and then these, because I do have fair skin, I mean, you guys can probably see my freckles when I'm on my camera. I have very, very light skin, and I burn very, very easily. So rather than constantly putting on sunscreen, because when I'm out there gardening, I don't want to keep stopping and reapplying, I actually invested in these by Farmer's Defense, and they're sleeves that come almost all the way up to my shoulder. And not only do they protect against the sun, but they're also made from a material where if you're working, say, with roses or around sharp shrubbery or like berry vine, they will protect your skin from getting pricked or scratched from the thistles. So, and I do wear these quite often. I have 2 or 3 sets of them. They're very easy to care for also. You just, put them in your washer and they do very well. And then this is mostly what I am doing for my pollinator gardens. So I have a lot of salvia, milkweed, the echinacea, probably didn't say that right, was unsuccessful the first time that I planted it. So I have these new packets from Park Seed. I found some there, and because I have other success with that company, I thought I would try that flower from them. So they are currently underway. I have them started in my pods. And then, oh, the other thing about the salvia, I don't know if you can see it here. I have like post-it notes over the pictures of our house, but the salvia, I got these plants for like $2.50 from our local greenhouse. It's just right out the road from where we live. And these, I was told by the gardener there who worked there that they were like one and done, but mine have been coming up every year. So that was like a really good investment, $2.50, and they keep coming back. And these have attracted hummingbirds to our yard. So absolutely love that. You guys know how I love to bird watch. And these are right by our front door. So we have a huge like bow window in the front of our house. It's not a bow window, but it's like a looking window. And I can see the birds very easily from that. And that's just the little information stake from it. And then these are tags from my peonies that I have out front. I transferred my peonies from the side of our house to the front of our house. And that's because they were overgrowing on the side of our house. So I like divided them and then transplanted them. And because I didn't have any like peach or deep burgundy peonies, which those are my favorite ones, the dark burgundy ones, I ordered them from Hertz Garden, which is a garden center in Ohio here where I live. And I have had nothing but success from this company. And again, not sponsored or anything, but this company is where, is where the majority of my house plants are from. They ship like the full plant live, and they've always come in pristine condition. I've never had any issues like with fungus gnats, with any type of root rot, none of that. They've all been extremely healthy. I've actually gotten some fertilizer also from these people, and because they're like 2.5, 3 hours away, I get all this stuff mailed to me and it arrives fine. I've actually ordered from them like in the dead of summer when we're reaching almost 100 degrees and the plants still come alive. They're great. They're phenomenal. And then I sent away from a gardening catalog for a mixed hosta surprise bag, and it was basically a root bag that came with about 5 different hostas. No clue which root was what type of hosta, and I'm starting a hosta bed in the front of my house. And that's because, like, we inherited this house when my mother-in-law passed away, and she had these gorgeous, huge hostas on the corner and side of our house. And I decided to divide them up because they were getting a little overcrowded, and to create a second flower bed. So those have been put in 2 different locations, and one is where those other 5 mystery hostas have been planted, and the other ones are like out further in our yard, in a pollinator garden that we created. And then because I was doing so many pollination gardens, and I have a lot of feeders in our yard, I joined the National Wildlife Federation to certify our yard as a wildlife habitat. And that was just me putting the little sticker on there. My maternal grandfather, he always fed the birds and the squirrels, and he's really who taught me how to do a lot of the things that I do in our yard. And this is a picture from his house. He was a carpenter after he did like finished his service with the military and retired from the coal mine, and he built this little feeder for the squirrels and deer. So on the bottom part he would put feed for the deer, and then on the top he would put corn cobs for the squirrels. And you can see another feeder there in the background, some more squirrel feeders on the tree, and he just had those all over the yard, and that was something that I grew up doing with him. And then he would always, when he would feed the birds, pick up a feather and give it to me. And I had this little like glass display box, and I collected bird feathers. So I just put a little tiny feather from my front yard after I'd started doing this, and started to attract them to my yard to kind of honor my grandfather. And then this plant was really fun, the mimosa sensitive plant, and I don't have it anymore. I'm probably going to get more though. I got this online, and if you've never seen this plant, it's kind of like the greenery that rabbits love to eat, like the clovers, but it's not. But that's kind of what it looks like. And then if you touch, I wish I had it to show you. It's so great. If you touch the leaves, they close. So here they're all sprung open, and if you bump it, or if you touch it, they'll all close up. And I loved that plant so much, and it attracts butterflies and bees. So I usually have that on my back porch. And then here's just a continuation. I put the dates on these ones, and I've decorated with some more stickers. These are actually what I put mostly in my my side, not rock garden, but my pollinator garden, kind of like out on the slope. And not all of these came back, so I'm going to try to get a couple different ones of these and try again from a different company. But yeah, this is that the side of the house. I sketched it. So right here at the corner of the house, was this huge rhododendron, and my husband's grandmother brought this back from when they were visiting spots on the Appalachian Trail, and they planted it there, and it was so gorgeous. It went over the roof of our house, but unfortunately, because the water tends to set on this side of the house, it got root rot and died. So that's why we have planted the Magnolia Jane there in its place. And when we get our French drain put in and get, you know, the water situation fixed, we're going to get another rhododendron. And then the hostas were back here along the house that I busted up. And they were in front of the rhododendron. So this whole section of the house was all hostas. And I've left 2 there, but all the other ones were dug up and divided and transplanted. And then I've added bluebells because my father always loved bluebells, so that's like a little honor to him. I put in a periwinkle butterfly bush over here. I had some leftover tulip and daffodil bulbs from when we put in our tulip bed, and I put them over here, the extra. And then there's more hostas and roses. These are my mother-in-law's roses here. So not much more is probably going to get done with that. I really like how it is. I'll probably just maintain it with some mulch. And then these are just the tags from those plants. And then this trellis, we had to end up getting this because the one seed packet that I got from Park Seeds, this Black-Eyed Susan vine, I don't know if that's showing up or not. It got really big and started to climb the house. So when we first planted it, we had like this cute little wooden trellis, and we ended up having to upgrade to this huge one because it just took over. But like I said, last year's variegated one wasn't as successful, and that's because I waited too long to start the seeds. So this next spread is the layout for the lot, which is what we call it. It's just this section out in our side yard that has this huge slope on it, and my husband usually takes the riding mower down it, and I was like, no, we're getting too old for this. You know, like, you're gonna have to get your thrills someplace else, because I really was scared watching him go down this hill. Mostly because at the bottom of it, there's just about a 3-foot turnaround for him to turn the tractor to go back up into the yard, and then you're going down into the woods that's behind our house. So I decided that I was going to rip all of this up, and it's a lot of land. It really is. It's taken me 2 years, and I still have this one little corner up here that I have to rip out and mulch. But not all of these flowers are coming back. Most of them are, but like my butterfly bushes are, the hostas are, the hydrangea tree is, but the other ones really aren't. So I'm gonna have to do some more work out there this year. And then these are just some more tags. And then this is some of my indoor tags I started. So I still have a lot of tags that I need to document. These are all the other tags that I have, like the little information packets that I still need to put in there. And I'm not too concerned about being behind on this because these plants are not going to be moved. I mean, there's like 2 or 3 that I'm going to transplant, but for the most part, they're all where they're going to be. So I feel like I can document them at any time. And then these are the other tags from the little potted plants that I bought from places that need to go in there. But I do keep these because, like I said before, they're really great for helping you get started, especially if you have you've never started seeds before. And so how I'd like to end today's video is to kind of show you guys what I am super excited about. And like I said, I did asked if you wanted a series about this and talked about, you know, maybe starting seeds on camera with you guys. But that, you know, I ended up not doing that because I didn't get much of a response. But, so I'm just showing you my seeds. These, real quick before I show you what I'm going to show you at the end. These are actually seeds that I pulled from existing plants in my yard. Like, these are from my milkweed plants, and my milkweed plants are really hardy. They are ones that we actually got in the wild, and they have been grown for years and years and years and years. And like, you can run these over, you can whack them down with a weed cutter, you can, your dog can pee on them, and they come back every year. But these are the ones that attract the monarch butterflies, that I love so much, and that I also protect when they're caterpillars. So I just harvest these from those plants, and then I replant them and put them in other places in the yard. And then these were harvested from a very gorgeous marigold potted plant that I have. So I'll just put all of those away real quick. And then I'll show you guys what I'm so excited to show you. So like I said, I was going to start a series, but then I decided not to. And basically what I did was I started my new seeds. I waited a little while to see if I would get a response, and then I went ahead and started them. So these are plastic containers that I saved from Sarah's pretzels that you can get, and I have a good many of them. I save them over and over every year. And then what I do is I take like a push pen and I punch holes in them for little air escapes. Then I take paper and I put the date that I sowed the seeds, and I take the packaging of the plant and put it on there. And look, guys, I have little sprouts already. These containers are perfect because they keep the moisture in. And then what I do is I set them on the top of my stove so that they get the heat and the steam from the dishes that I cook and prepare. And that just kind of makes them like they're in a hothouse, a greenhouse. But yeah, you can see the steam build up and the moisture, and that's perfect for them. Now, yesterday I did go in and you can see there's a little bit of mold right here on my starter seed soil. I did go in and I scraped the top off, and none of these sprouts were here yesterday. I just did this yesterday. I scraped them all off, and then look what I woke up to. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. So these ones are that Black-Eyed Susan vine. And what I'm going to do, I just sowed these on March 27th, and already here we are. And I got about an inch and a half worth of sprout. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue letting them grow up in these dishes until they have like a strong root system. And then I'm going to put them on my back porch out in the sun, so that they can get used to the natural light and dark and warm and cold temperatures. And then when they get about 4 inches, 5 inches tall, I'm going to put them in the ground. So here's another a little baby that I woke up to this morning. And we've got a little one here. I don't know if you can see it, but it's got soil covering the top of its leaves. But it's about, I'd say, 1/4 of an inch out. It's coming up. So yeah. That one is the new Mellow Yellow Echinacea. So those are the ones that I was telling you didn't do well from that one company. So I decided to go with Park Seeds and give them a try. And then one more, I woke up to this little guy also. You can see him there. And there's another one coming up there. So yeah, I'm very excited about that. That did not take long at all. You know, they're actually ahead of schedule. This one I just planted March 29th, and already Already, just a couple of days, I have 2 little baby sprouts. Well, it actually looks like 3. It looks like there's a third one right there coming up. So yeah, and like I said, the mold that I scraped off, that's pretty common, especially if you tend to overwater. I'm not concerned about it because, like I said, I scraped it off, and like I monitor these daily, so I make sure that there's none around the sprouts. But what I'm going to do today, since these sprouts are already coming up, is I'm going to take the lids off of these and just kind of put them sideways so that they can get some more air and breathe a little bit. And then that way it'll kind of help take some of that excess moisture out. But yeah, that's what I have for you today, guys. I'm very excited to share my little sprouts with you. And then what I'm thinking about doing, since I'm not making this a series, is maybe once I get the things transplanted into my yard and they start to bloom, I think I might do like a tour, like a walkthrough of the flower gardens if you're interested. But to let me know that you're interested, please just like this video. That's how I gauge your interest in the things that I'm talking about. Please consider sharing the video with anyone that you think might enjoy it. And if you like this content and the way that I journal and share my experience, please consider subscribing to the channel. That's a huge way that you can support me. And thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. And I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.